Shalom Yashrala, this is your brother Dawud from GMS Tampa Bay 07, coming at you with this is truth again. First and foremost, I want to give all praises unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shah, Waha Rakah Kadash, double honors to the apostles and elders of the great millstone that taught me this truth and that ruled well, and salutation and much love for you. I can push this truth and sincerity on the four corners of the earth. I want to get into this quick lesson because we come up upon that time where Esau is transitioning his kingdom, and as we look at the signs that's going on in the news, we can see that we right there at that time, dealing with the petro yuan and the the emergence of a new system, And if you don't understand what a so-called petro currency is, more or less to say, the petro yuan is going to be, I guess, I wouldn't say the second petro currency, because I believe there was a petro pound or something before the petro dollar. But nevertheless, what that means is when you have a currency where you have the word petro around it, like petro dollar, and we coming upon a new thing called a petro yuan. It's basically the currency that you can basically deal in anything with oil, okay? Whether you want to buy it, sell it, trade it, refine it, anything like that, you have to deal in so-called petrodollars, okay? And now a petrodollar isn't anything, if you want to know what a petrodollar looks like, go inside your wallet and pull out any denomination of a bill that's, a so-called American currency, and that's a petro currency, So basically, with that, these other countries, let's say, what country? Let me think of one. Let's say Iraq, or any country, or Russia, let's say they have oil. Well, not really with Russia, because Russia's just creating, they're in with China, but hypothetically, Russia wants to sell oil to, let's say, Germany, okay? Now, Germany would have to acquire so-called U.S. dollars in order to make the transaction go through with Russia, okay? And the way these things work, these other countries basically wind up selling America goods, in return for, they're doing trade, so they'll sell America goods, and in return, that country or those countries will get so-called American dollars. All right, and now with those American dollars, those countries can now go and buy oil, okay? So, like, for instance, China sells us a lot of stuff. We import a lot of things from China, So America pays for it in what? American dollars. The Chinese don't really need American dollars, because, they got their own money over there, right? But, however, if they want to buy oil from any country, it doesn't have to be America, it could be any other country, they have to use the American dollars, okay? And this is the way they get American money, And this is also one of the reasons why America is one of the so-called greatest nations on the earth right now, one of the richest nations, it was all set up, and also, from slavery and all that stuff. But in modern day times, this is one of the biggest money makers that they have is basically trading oil. America don't have to do anything with oil, but if you want to do anything with oil, you need American money, and the Americans are going to touch that, So with that, we're going to just jump into Revelation chapter 13. I'm going to start at verse 11. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. Okay, you want to, that's basically speaking about like how America is. We always about peace and safety and global security for everybody else, and everybody treated fair and equal, and diplomacy and all kind of crazy stuff. They say all this type of stuff. How dare you go over there and do this, this, and that when this is a humanitarian aid or whatever, whatnot. But, America goes and does the same thing, You speak as a lamb, but basically you're a dragon, You're a wolf in sheep's clothing, And he exercised all power of the first beast before him, which causes the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. Okay? And, we could go further into all of that, but, this it's all talking about, how do you say, that old Roman Empire, the old structure, Nowadays you have the resurgence of that, basically with NATO, the EU, like the UN type council type of deal, It's basically the same deal, and that's the image to it, Everything is reincarnated, They have the Senate, Capitol Hill, and all these things that they had back in the Roman Empire, Verse 13, and he does great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on earth in the sight of men. Yeah, and see what happens when you want to try to change or sell your dollars on a different currency, This was the real reason we went over in Iraq, and also in Libya, Muammar Gaddafi and Saddam Hussein decided to sell their oil in a different currency. I believe Muammar Gaddafi decided to do it in the gold dinar, and Saddam Hussein decided to do it in a British pound. Okay, now Saddam Hussein, I believe, actually did convert over into a different currency, but it only lasted like 2 days before he was dead, you know. And then they switched it back over after they got the currency, because with all that oil, you know, if the Americans ain't taxing it all, then, you know, they feel like they're being left out. But nevertheless, you know, you see what happened when you try to do all that. You know, they made fire rain from heaven in the sight of men. You know, I remember watching that on TV after the so-called 9/11, night after night. You know, you see the so-called night vision goggle view of them just constantly doing what they call shock and awe, just bombing, making fire rain from the heavens, you know. In the sight of men, it was on the news 24 hours, over and over and over again, you know. Verse 14, he deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast, which had a wound by the sword and did live. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Okay? Yeah, you don't want to follow about with America and America's rules and their conglomeration of people. You know, you don't want to go along with the so-called Western powers. You see what happens, you know. Look at Syria, you know. They say they want to have a regime change over there, but that's not America's country. What kind of interest do they really, whatever the interest they can say they have, you know, what business do you have you in another man's house, you know? It's you and your neighbor, and you over there worried about what his wife is cooking him for dinner, you know? He don't need to be eating that for dinner, you know? I mean, now, it's something unlawful. I mean, you can tell your brother he's going off, but, you know, speaking on something lawful, you know? He eating chicken versus beef. Nah, he going off eating that chicken. He need to be eating beef tonight, you know? Like, why don't you worry about what's going on in your house? You don't pay bills over here. This is my house, you know? I don't live with you. You don't live with me, you know? This is the point we wanted to get at. Verse 16, it says, he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead. Okay? And no man might buy or sell, save he that have the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. And here's wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of man, and his number is 666, or 666. But going back up, it says, he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark. Okay? Now, we can go a couple ways into this. That word mark there is talking about an incision, meaning something's got to be implanted into you, you know? And we know that is the RFID chip, or, they might go into a different technology from there. You know, I've seen a couple different versions of all that. You know, that actual grain of salt microchip is really an old design. You know, they have the new ones now where it's like a skin tattoo. It's like a circuit board tattoo type of deal, you know, and they can really, all you have to do is walk through a doorway and they can just put it on you without you even knowing. You know, you could just be walking through a terminal or whatever and they put it on you, you know. Or in other ways, you know, like if you look into Morgellons disease, you know, they can give it to you via the air. You just breathe it in, you know, with nanotechnology. Or another name for Morgellons disease is smart dust. Okay. So when you look at all these little things, you know, hey, Esau has a way of putting this here out. But not only that, you know, you got, you know, people by different classes, the military, the police, governmental officials, people with these types of jobs, those types of jobs, you know, people working in whatever industries, you know, they're going to have to be people in prison, doctors, all these people going to wind up having to be microchipped, newborn babies being born, you know. Just like when any of us was born, we already had a social security number and we didn't have no choice in it, you know. That was something already established, you know. But it also said that no man might buy or sell save he that have the mark. Okay, so this is getting into an economic situation, more or less to say. Okay, so you're not going to be able to move no kind of commerce on a big level or a small level, whether you be a country, you know, big, small, great, you know, or whether you be a small individual, you know. You might not even be able to go to the store and get you some water, you know. You can't go to the store and get you, you know, because you see a lot of these things where you see a lot of businesses now not have any employees, you know. Like you go to your local Walmart, you know. Well, for me, I normally go to Walmart at nighttime, like right around now when I get off of work, you know. But, you know, for the most part, they have all these lanes out there, and a lot of them are self-checkout lanes. There's very few. It used to be back in the days, there was very few self-checkout, maybe 4 of them, and then you had the rest of them was actual cashiers. But now you have about 4 cashiers and the rest is self-serve lines, you know. You go to a lot of these restaurants, and they have the little tablet on the table where you can order your own meal, you know. You got your little Uber apps and all these little things. So everything is becoming on a digital, more or less, how do I want to say, like a self-service type system, more or less to say, you're going to be, first of all, everything is being done digital, whether it be on your phone, smart technology, whether with your smartwatch or whatever, however, people can instantly do things either off an app or any of these types of things. But also, you're going to, again, come into a self-serve service, okay, like how you got Uber now, a lot more people are now finding it's cheaper to just take Uber and more convenient to take that than a bus or something like that. Well, when they introduce these self-driving cars that Google is working on, you know what I'm saying, you're going to be able to call up your own little car and get in the car, and they already have the retina, I mean, they far beyond retina scans and facial recognition. I mean, they have that, all that technology is old and obsolete. They have way different stuff now, Their technology is so far advanced that it's crazy, But nevertheless, as you look around in the world, you see these things going on as far as them trying to change currencies, They're trying to take so-called America's power. You see these other nations banding together, and they're willing to risk their own country, their own safety, their own people, just to get America out of the picture, So we've seen the so-called BRICS nations come together, try to get up off of the IMF, and basically this is like round 2 with this basically this new petro yuan, and they also have another system called the SWIFT system, and it's basically how they transfer money, large money, international money from country to country, government to government, It's like when you go to your bank and you have a transfer fee, or you go to a ATM that's not your bank's ATM and you have a service charge, maybe $2 or $3, just to provide the service for you, This is how America also tax other countries, with their little so-called, I believe it's the SWIFT system, But, Russia, China, and these other major nations are working on something to wean themselves off of that system, Like the scriptures say, are thou become as weak as us, Beforehand, America had all the cars in their pocket with the petro yuan and nuclear missiles and everything like that. But now, other nations are like, we can sell oil in whatever currency we want. And what you gonna do, nuke us? We got nuclear bombs too. So, I mean, we on the same playing field, So, as you look around, you start to see these things happen, But nevertheless, one of the major things to look at is this economy collapsing. They want to change everything out. And so, like I was saying about this petro yuan, or the petrodollar, Salakia, and understanding just what that means, the definition of that. And if you understand the depth of what a petrodollar is, it makes you rethink the whole, like every time you see a dollar bill in your wallet, that's what gives it value, okay? The fact of the matter that, and this is actually a fact, there's more, there's more actual so-called U.S. currency outside of America than there is inside of America, meaning that there are more people outside of America in other countries and other governments that hold more physical U.S. dollar, like U.S. currency, than all the currency here in America, okay? So, that's what's given, the so-called money its value, okay? So when you have all this money, people want, when you learn how the IMF works or the Federal Reserve works, hey, they come up by more and more people borrowing money, and they only really borrowing, I believe, like 10% on their little thing. So if they have $10 in there, they can loan up to $100, and charge you interest on the $10 that they just, digitally putting up anyway, But they're getting tired of this system. They want to go to a so-called more safer, secure system, which means all the cars are going to fall for America and all their dollars are going to come back. And then now you're going to have massive inflation, superinflation or hyperinflation, what they call it, Not superinflation, but hyperinflation. It's big, fast, and in a hurry, real quick, When you was going to the store, and you could go get, whatever for $5, whatever you could value at $5 is going to be now $500, Because this is, your money is not a hot commodity no more. Everybody don't want this money. Your money is not like gold, Gold is only precious because not very many people have it. But if everybody had gold, then gold ain't that valuable no more, So this is basically what's about to happen, As soon as this here, takes place, and be fully implemented, you're going to start seeing these other countries jump on the bandwagon. All these countries that hate Esau, they're going to start jumping on this bandwagon like we read about it, Those that are confederate with the, they're basically going to turn on you, because you deplete their country and they're not really getting no benefits. And they're going to see something that's going to be able to benefit them, so they're going to wind up just pulling from that system. And in all reality, this is all Esau's little plan or whatever to consolidate and move to another system. So we're not ignorant of Satan's devices. This is just something that we should be watching for. When we see these things happening, like, all right, so we know that that mark of the beast chip is soon. It's about to come. It's right around the corner, because as soon as they implement this, more or less the economy is going to collapse. When the economy collapses, they got to replace the currency with a new currency. They already got the new currency rolled out. It's the RFID chip, But I'm going to grab one more quick scripture in the book of Job. This is the book of Job, chapter 20. We'll start at verse 18. This is talking about Esau, and in the same town that we in right now, See, he thinks that, in his mind, he's going to collapse the system and move on to the next place and build up over there, He's going to basically burn his house down that he's in now, collect the insurance money, and go move into a bigger house down the block in a nice side of the neighborhood, But that's not going to happen, all right? And here's the scripture to bring that out. This is Job chapter 20, verse 18. That which he labored for shall he restore. So, let me just keep reading. That which he labored for shall he restore, and shall not swallow it down, okay? So, the things that he's working for, okay, basically the system he's trying to put up, all these things that he's doing, all these the people he's killing and fucking over basically to get his agenda to go forth, It says, that which he labored for, he shall restore. Bombing all these people and killing all these people. Man, you got to pay all that back, man. You got to pay that tab. And shall not swallow it down. So, yeah, you over here stealing all these countries and getting everybody hemmed up and into your systems and in your snares and your nets. Yeah, you got to pay all that back, It says, that which he labored for, he shall restore and shall not swallow it down. According to his substance shall shall the restitution be, and he shall not rejoice therein. So basically, you got to pay what you owe, You've been, you got this credit card, you've been constantly charging, and they never paid no bills, thinking, I'll just close this account out and go get me a new account, But no, it's tied to your Social Security number, and now your wages is getting garnished. So whatever move you take, every time that you making some hours on your job, getting some money, all that's going in is getting garnished. All your money is getting taken away. You still in debt, So you're going to have to pay for all these things that you did over here, Verse 19, because he that hath oppressed and hath forsaken the poor, because he hath violently taken away houses which he builded not. Yeah, he's oppressing the poor. The Israelites taking over our land, Jerusalem, taking over here in America, and look what he do to the other countries. Look at what he's trying to do in Syria, okay? Surely he shall not feel quietness in his belly. He shall not save that which he desired. Yeah, so basically this is a metaphor, You didn't ate good, had all you could eat, your favorite meal and everything, right? But now you at the table and you got that look on your face. Now I didn't hit you. You're like, oh shit, my stomach's starting to turn a little bit. You ain't feeling so easy, You was just rejoicing in that good meal that you love so much. You was eating it. Oh man, it's the best meal ever. But now all of a sudden you like, damn, I don't even want to move. I might be about to get sick. And you're thinking about that meal. What was it about the meal? And you start to think everything, It says, surely he shall not feel quietness in his belly. He shall not save of that which he desired. There shall none of his meat be left. Therefore shall no man look for his goods. So yeah, like you about to, like, I was going to say, you going to basically throw it all up. But, I mean, that's what the scriptures is about to say. But nevertheless, it's like, you're not going to have nothing left. More or less like if thieves came to your house to steal, you know what I'm saying? Like, and they didn't clean your whole house out. Another bandit came around and steal, and they didn't even leave the doors on the door hinges, let alone the damn the knob on the door. They didn't took the paint off the walls. There wasn't nothing left to the house. Verse 22. In the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall come up upon him. And that's what you're seeing now. See, he's thinking, he's getting to the end of his system. He's closing in on his system, And he's putting his final touches on there, But this is about to be it for him, In the fullness of his sufficiency. So when he's about full, putting the last touches on there, he shall be in straits. Now he's about to start having these problems like you see now. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. Yeah, like, those that are confederate against or confederate with thee, basically going to turn on you, And we start to see that now as well. Okay, verse 23. When he is about to fill his belly, when he almost done and got everybody microchipped and everybody in subjection under him, because, everybody all fucked up now. All these demons on him, everybody perverse and a perverse spirit worshiping Esau. But once he puts you in that microchip, that's it for you, He got complete dominion over you, It says when he's about to fill his belly, Yahweh shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and he shall rain it upon him while he is eaten. So yeah, when you getting it, you trying to get it and putting everything together, you know, you chipping your last, you got 2 more people left to chip. That's when it's going to rain down on you, all right? It says, he shall flee from the iron weapon, and the bow of steel shall strike him through. It is drawn and cometh out of the body. Yea, the glittering sword come out of his gall. Terrors are upon him. Yeah, that's talking about these nuclear missiles coming out of a nuclear missile silo, okay? So he shall flee from the iron weapon, and the bow of steel shall strike him through. Yeah, you don't see no bow and arrows made out of steel, all right? It is drawn, it cometh out of the body, you know, talking about those silos. Yea, the glittering sword cometh out of his gall. Terrors are upon him. All darkness shall be hid in his secret places. A fire not blown shall consume him. It shall go ill with him that is left in the tabernacle. Okay? So basically, let me keep reading. The heaven shall reveal his iniquity, and the earth shall raise up against him. The increase of his house shall depart, and his goods shall flow away in the day of his wrath. This is the portion of the wicked man from Yahweh, and the heritage appointed unto him by Yahweh. Okay? So basically, Esau about to get these nukes rolled down on him when he's finishing up his little system. When he's about done chipping everybody, hey, this is when it's all going to come to an end. So look at these things and measure the time diligently, all right? You see this economy about to collapse with the petro-yuan introduction, all right? When the economy collapsed, Esau's going to have to try to reinstitute another system. And what that system is going to be, digital cryptocurrency, you know, or the RFID chip, all right? And when you see the RFID chip, when he's about to fill his belly, he's going to be in straits, in the fullness of his, he's going to be in straits, basically, you know? But with that, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. Until next time, I say, call halal Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shah, double honors to the apostles and the elders, a great millstone that taught me this truth and that rule well. A salutation and much love for you. I can push this truth and sincerity in the 4 corners of the earth. Stay strong. Shalom.